I'm impressed by you got the 5150 amp. I see Diver down in the background.
Uh-oh.
Is it natural, this whole curated cool thing, or did you just want to impress me?
It's just, it's just BS. It's me just being BS in it.
Well,
BS in it.
well, the bottom line is this. I appreciate your time, and you've been on my radar for, 2 years now. But then when I dig in, I see, oh, he's got endorsements. He's the real deal. He's not defined by that David Lee Roth gig. So before I get into all that, what are you up to at the moment? Are you still in Ratt?
Yeah. I'm still playing Ratt. Teaching every day. I love to teach. So I've been doing that, since before any gig really.
Sure.
But yeah, just in session stuff, working with a band, Jane Doe, helping kind of mentor and shape them and produce and write and record with them, and some movie stuff, just a bunch of different things.
So you're playing 8, 9, 10 hours a day, whether or not we realize it. That's the key.
Yeah, of course, definitely. Even if when teaching, you're still playing.
Yeah.
It's not the same as a practice, me sitting down and practicing and hanging out, of course.
Right.
But I'm still grateful for that.
I think it's been surprising to see who has embraced teaching. For example, a couple days ago, I was talking to Paige Hamilton from Helmet, and he's like, yeah, I'm giving a guitar lesson after this. And you go, that dude doesn't need the money per se, but he enjoys the fact of giving back to the next generation.
Yeah.
And I saw Tony Harnell from TNT today. He's offering up a vocal academy. So
that's great.
Did you always have that teaching gene, or is this the last 2 years or so the necessity of it all?
Oh no! Ever since even in high school, when I'm still learning now, but even when I was really learning and into it, I had a couple younger, couple years before, a year before me, in the grade, ask for lessons because they knew the band, Legal Tender I was playing in, and so I kind of honed in on that and always enjoyed it.
Got it. So
I always had that type of whether it's trying to, do plumbing or whatever it is, trying to show and help and try to figure it out and pass it on kind of thing.
And
just
then
mentality.
Do you want to plug any endorsements? Get that housekeeping out of the way so we
nah, it's all good. Charvel, Jackson. I'm just kidding. Well, yeah, of course. I'm so grateful for the Charvel and the Jackson and the EVH gear and FU tone and EMG pickups, all of that.
Hey, when you have more than one endorsement in your field, you're doing well in life. So you're doing very well in life.
The coolest part about it is knowing the great people there. It's not about getting stuff. It's really just about, the friendship and the family type of establishment that you get to create. It's really cool. It's really cool.
Having peers in your industry is always cool.
And knowing you can just go and hang and laugh and have fun, and everyone, it's all great. It's all good stuff. So grateful for that.
So I can't remember if I typed this in the email to you, but my wife and I were at 2 of the Vegas shows that you did in January 2020 with Roth. Oh, cool. And I noticed Jordan Ziff in the crowd, big fan of Ratt. I've interviewed Stephen Piercy a bunch of times, and awesome. Whether or not I was the only person who immediately noticed him, that's a different story. But I was basically going hey, what are you doing here? Big fan. He's like, well, I'm here to see my friend Frankie.
Yeah, we're best friends, man. We're brothers. We've been brothers since the Charvel thing, I think in 2015, when the Matt Brown, who is over in Arizona, mm-hmm. head of Charvel Fender Jackson stuff, he was just like, dude, you got to meet Jordan Ziff. And I was like, I don't know. I just met him. I was like, he's like, you guys are the same person. And so we went out and had dinner. And then we just, boom, it was just like that. So him coming to the gig was just like, I've been to all the Ratt shows before I was in it too. When he'd come here, when he was playing here, whatever. And it's just, it's funny too, because a couple people came up to him and were like, oh, hey, from Ratt, right? And it was just different perspectives,
So that clearly led to you getting into Ratt, I would have to assume. It was not a cattle call audition that you survived 60 guitarists at pass. It's more, hey, this guy can play. He can. Yeah, he's good. Yeah.
No, a lot of it, a lot of the networking and everything, adds up and counts. But
Hmm?
sometimes you fall into a position where it's like, okay, well, this happens, that happened, your best buddy or whatever, whoever it may be, just can kind of get you in or not. That happens a
Or
lot too, but
not?
it can't. So
Yeah.
but yeah,
Um,
I was able to meet the guys and hang and play a little, and it was just like cool, perfect.
Makes sense to
It was,
me.
it was nice. It was cool. It was organic.
But speaking of rehearsals and audition and all that, see, I want to pick your brain about your run with Roth, because the more people I speak to who were around in that, the more of the story that I'm getting, because the story's not publicly out there. So I was curious if I'm totally wrong about any of this or if I'm on point. Are you ready to get your brain positively, wonderfully picked?
Oh boy,
Okay.
here we go.
So naming my sources here. When I spoke with Kane, how do you say his last name? Rocket's son, the drummer. I've never known how to say his last name.
Who? I don't know.
Rocket's son, Kane, was originally the drummer in 2018 in the Roth band.
Really, I did not know that.
Okay.
I'm
so,
sorry. I'm being honest. I'm being honest.
so he got into the band because Brett Tuggle was MDing it. And
Correct.
he couldn't do the dates, and Mike Musselman wound up getting the gig after that.
Great. Yeah, Mike is like a brother now too.
Great guy. I like Mike a lot. Even if I don't like bowling, I like Mike a lot. I don't think you're on his bowling team, right?
No.
Okay. So
He's
Mike.
never asked me. Damn it.
Okay. Okay. We'll take that offline, and I'll put in a request. So Mike got the gig also through Brett Tuggle.
Uh-huh.
And at that time, Brett Tuggle was the MD. He was playing keyboards, and he was also throwing in some guitars into the mix.
Right.
Then at a certain point, Danny Wagner goes from being drum tech to keyboardist in the band.
Love Danny.
Originally, the guitar player was Chris Griotti.
Mm-hmm.
Chris
Great player, great guy.
was the only guitar player. Then eventually we get to, there's 3 guitar players on stage, including Andrew Martin. So somehow it goes from the drum tech becomes the keyboardist, the MD is out, 1 guitarist, 3 guitarists. Now these upcoming dates, there's 1 guitar. Now, when did you come into the whole project, and or were you a Brett Tuggle recruiter situation?
Yeah, so it's funny. I wasn't. I'm not even 100% certain as to how or what it was all before me. But I came in, and my buddy Brent, who plays for Sebastian Bach,
Oh, okay.
he's like a family friend of mine. Um, and he was like, "Hey, Roth needs a guitar player. Would you want to try and whatever you want to get in? I can throw your name around." So that was when Al was playing, and yeah, I came in, and I guess that was right after Griotti and Tuggle. Right after that, there was not. It was just me and Al. It was just two guitar players. So it was right after the 3, I guess. Right. But the reason why it all kind of goes up and down or whatever, back and forth, is just people, personalities, what Roth wanted. You just get to know people and how they work, and it's not, either there's hard feelings or no hard feelings, but it's just what is wanted,
Yeah.
right, by the boss, and that's just how it goes. That's just how it goes.
Being a good hang is part of the gig as much as playing, if not more.
Well, of course, you have to be a good person, and you could be really good, and yeah, maybe that can get you by, but you also have to understand your audience and just be a nice human being, you know?
And clearly you passed the test on both the playing and the hang. So
It was fun. It was a lot of pressure, and but
what I heard from Kane, and I think Mike told me this too, is that when you're rehearsing, you are full on performing. You're not necessarily stage moves per se, but you are really focused. You are not phoning it in when you're rehearsing with Diamond Dave.
Oh no, you have to be 100% on, spot on. You're playing. You're dressed up. You have to
Dressed
be.
up.
Well, yeah, well, he wanted the black thing just to look nice and classy and all that, which is cool. You just follow the protocol and do what you got to do, and yeah, rehearsal wasn't like, oops, I messed up. Oh, let's take it over again. Garage band kind of shit. It was full on. Don't fuck up. Be on your A game, and that's. But it's cool, That's a great way of being.
Yeah.
I mean, I was always pretty much like that too, even in any band or whatever, as small and back in high school too. It was always like, do it right, do it. So
Were rehearsals at the infamous Cavern House studio, or were you doing Mates, a traditional LA studio space?
we were just in LA. It was nice. It was cool. It was casual.
Because I've heard that from the original band with Sheehan, Vibe, Bissonette, that it was in Dave's house, and still in the '90s it was in Dave's house. I'm guessing in recent years it moved to Mates or one of the rehearsal studios.
Yeah, we weren't at Dave's house. No.
Got it. So you were a Tuggle recruitment, and the reason that's, or rather, you said your friend who plays with Sebastian Bach, but Tuggle in some way. The reason that intrigues me is because it seems like everyone who's played with Dave was in some way recruited by Greg Bissonette or Tuggle. Like, even if they're not playing with Dave, they always stuck around in some way.
Right. Well, maybe that's just because they are, MD-ish type of personality, vibe, and everything.
Got it. So when you got the band gig there, you knew that Al was going to be there. You knew all along that it was going to be a 2-guitar attack, as opposed to you had all the pressures of the solos.
Yes, I knew that there were going to be 2 guitar players when I was there. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when it,
And I know that's not your classic Van Halen, but
well, no, Dave had 3 or 4 different eras where he had 2 guitars on stage. There was a couple of years where there was Toshi Hikeda on stage with Brian Young. I think Desi Rex was up there with Rocket for a little while with Terry Kilgore. So he's done the 2-guitar thing, and it sounds good. But what was your guidance for the arrangements? Because some of these songs, as you're saying, didn't have 2 guitars on the recording.
Right. Well, a lot of unison stuff, or little harmonies, like in Jamie's Crying and the little pre-chorus thing. Sometimes we would split it up, or the Vice stuff. Just little harmonies that were there in like Paradise, little third thing coming up. We would harmonize that, or doubling the Ain't Talking About Love solo, because it's not super. Intricate in a sense. It's more harmonic, or it's more melodic. So
To a guitar player of my level, it's very intricate, for the record.
It is very. I don't mean that disrespectfully. I'm just saying, in from the perspective of where we were at, and it was like, oh, cool, let's try to double that. Whatever. You got to kind of process of elimination it, right?
Did you know all the songs though coming into it, or did you know most of them, how to play them, and how they went?
Yeah, man. I mean, I started playing because of Van Halen back when I was, in whatever, 6th grade. How old are you? 11, 12, 13 or something like that. And, my dad showed me Van Halen, and I don't know, just Eddie was number one from the start, as he is and was for millions, trillions of people. But yeah, I knew the entire catalog. I have a phone book. I don't have it here right now, but a tab phone book looking Van Halen. It's literally this big. I got back in however long ago, and
wow,
so it was cool coming into it, being like, "Holy shit, really?"
So are you that way with Ross' solo catalog as well?
The first couple albums, really into, but yeah, it was mainly the Van Halen shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I was asking Mr. Musselman, hey, which songs did you work out? Which ones did you rehearse? And Big Train was always in contention. I think he said that Tobacco Road, the band had worked on. Do you remember rehearsing any deep cuts with the other players?
Tobacco Road, wasn't that done in Vegas, or no?
I don't remember that being played in Vegas. I remember Big Train was the only kind of non-hit, non-single from the solo
That's so
stuff.
funny. Yeah, we messed around with some different ones. What was it? I know Tobacco Road for sure. That was cool. That's so funny. I thought we played that. We've played that so many times. I remember playing it so many times. I thought we played that live.
There's
Um,
always a chance this guy is wrong. It does happen. Just
no. I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just funny that I'm all dull with it. Uh, no, we didn't do Yankee. Everyone always asks me, "Oh, you do Yankee Rose?" We never tried that. Nothing really else. Yeah, it was Big Train. Uh, Big Train's a cool one. I didn't know that one before going into it. That was fun.
very cool song. I what I heard a rumor was that Dave does not like playing Yankee Rose unless it's the 4th of July. Have you heard that as well?
No, I've never heard that. That's funny.
That I will not confirm nor deny who told me that played in his band, but it's cool to hear that you were a fan of the solo material, because most of the other musicians that I've spoken with who have played with him, not big fans, not deep dives into the solo career. They kind of went, yeah, I liked Eat 'Em and Smile, I kind of like Skyscraper, and then I fell off. So you go beyond that.
Yeah, I mean, I love Edom. Yeah, those two are it though. I mean, I did want to. Not that it would be the smartest live because it's kind of more chill, but "Damn Good" is a great song.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's all good. When you're in it and then you're in the thick of it, it's like whatever is being told for you to do, you're so grateful for doing it, and you're like, cool. This would be cool. This would be cool. Whatever. But um, yeah, it's all amazing. I remember asking, what did I ask? I asked Dave because I had a couple questions about women in love. We were hanging out after one of the rehearsals, and I was like, I have a question. Uh, the first lyric in "Women in Love." Me and my buddies always thought it was "Marge, you're breaking my heart." And he's like, "No, Frank, there's no fucking Marge. It's my heart. You're breaking my heart." And it was just funny because I was like, "All right, there it is." Said right before my eyes.
That makes sense to me. Although the Marge is a good lyric, and
You hear it, Ma.
so you
Cool.
did the Vegas shows, then you did the Kiss shows until the pandemic kicked in. Did you think it was?
I actually didn't do the Kiss shows. I only did the Vegas shows.
Really? Okay. So didn't Musselman get swapped out in the middle of the Kiss shows as well?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, so this continues that theme of if
Well,
you're.
I had a teaching thing going on at some schools and shit, and it was sorry, I'm cussing. Okay.
It's that Arizona vocabulary. I get
There
it.
you go. Well, I'm actually in LA.
But if you're in that Jordan Ziff world, it's the Arizona.
I was gonna say it is Arizona. God damn it, fucking Jordan.
So you didn't do the Kiss shows. There's so much conflicting information out there. I think they only did 10 or 11 of them before COVID took.
The COVID thing, yeah, it happened and just crazy.
So you didn't go into it thinking, hey, this might be a 3-year world tour.
You go in with a million thoughts, but you have to always just be ready. In the business, I think it's really important to expect, not cynically, but just expect nothing.
Yeah.
Do your best. See the possibilities, but don't. You got to be realistic. So if you hold on to all these certain things, saying it's all going to happen, you just sometimes not sometimes, the majority of the time, it doesn't happen.
It sounds like you're saying the Mel Brooks quote, expect the worst, hope for the best.
Yeah. But I try not to be as like, I'm expecting the worst, cynical kind of shit. But yes, you know what I mean.
But something I find is much more than not, a lot of the Roth sidemen are like in that network for life. They see each other. They know what they've all been through. They're friends for life, even if they haven't met before. Like somebody like Ron Wixow is cool with everybody. Are you in that network yet, or do you need me to break you into that network?
With Ron?
So do you know Ron? You didn't know Rocket before, but
no.
Ron, do you know the Bissonets?
I don't personally know the Bissonets. But yes, I've met a couple people that have, get it and have worked, and it's just like any relationship. It's like, hey, you've done that, cool. You've done cool. I've done that too. There's a camaraderie with it. Totally. I would
Make-
love it though. Hey, if you want to shoot me his info,
we will do that offline. That is a promise. So, you mentioned the endorsements before, you mentioned teaching, you're playing in Ratt, you mentioned you have your own band. Is the long-term goal to be a feature guitar star player, or is the end goal to just juggle a bunch of projects that are fun?
Uh, the end goal is to realistically not be on the road 6 months out of the year. Uh, as fun as that all is and stuff, as a livelihood, it's not maybe necessarily the end goal. For some people, it is. Just because of wanting to whatever have a family, blah 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 blah. I won't no gushy stuff here, but you know what I mean. It's a real life decision type of thing, and
Yeah.
if that's the life, that is the life, And it's easy to say that's cool and just whatever, but then once it actually is like implemented in a thing, you know. Um, but again, whatever comes comes, and the goal is to just really at my point is just be happy with all of it, um, not necessarily juggle, but I do love producing this band and having sessions and this and that, and just having income like that is great. I love teaching, um, so whether it's just doing film stuff,
Mm-hmm.
cool, love it. Whether it's just teaching, cool, I'm
Co-
not. I don't have a specific one thing. As long as it's musical and I get to output the creativity, that's success for me.
Co-writing, is that one of the things that's on the
Right,
menu of what you do?
writing. Oh yeah.
Co-writing meaning, hey, get them in the room, they write for the thing, and hopefully it's a cut on the album, that kind of game.
Oh yeah. I mean, I write a million things with my own stuff. I've sold a million things this to whoever it may be, helping bands write, cutting certain tracks, and it's not just rock stuff either. It's all around the board. It's just producing, and really musically speaking, it's all these different genres and just doing that, writing that way rather than it's easy to be like the token guitar guy, right? Which I love and it's great, but writing a hip hop track or something like that too for whoever it may be, or helping. There's so many avenues. It's crazy.
So you do music library work?
Yeah, definitely.
Ah, okay. That makes a lot of sense now. So you are not very pigeonholable.
No, I'm a drummer. I'm a guitar player. I'm a bass player. I play piano. You violin, kinda. I can get away with it. And then just really producing too. Electronic stuff. Just getting into the whole different world. Not that I'm into it, but like if it's a track that's needed for so and so, whatever, boom, let's do it, and we can get it done.
Wow. Okay. So one of the first things that I said to you was, so it sounds like you're playing guitar 8 or 9 hours a day. It might not be guitar, but there's music in some form of more of the day than not for you. And that
Oh,
explains
100%.
why you're not itching to be on the road 300 days a year.
Sure. Sure.
So who are the heroes for this long-term career path? Are you a Lukather guy more than an EVH kind of guy, based on the fact that playing on other people's stuff, sometimes you're in the background, sometimes you're in the forefront?
Yeah, I don't look at any one specific person or any people that I want to be like to do this. It's more of like you're in that world. You. I think the answer to that would be more of like when you're really first starting off blank canvas as like a teenager. It's like Eddie, and that will always be there. That's always there. Of course, that's the most. I love playing live and feeling that and seeing reaction and that whole moment. That will never go away.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but as I guess maybe as like an adult, now that you're there and you've been through X amount and you've you teach, you do this, you have sessions that you kind of see this broadened type of perspective. So it's not that there's one person now that I want to emulate to do this. It's more of like, okay, business move, business mentality. How can we do this? How can we do that? Let's do that. I enjoy this. Is this fulfilling? Does it bring in income? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have your checklist of, you go, is this fun? Is this creatively fulfilling? Is this paying my rent or mortgage or monthly nut? No, no, yes, I'll do it. No,
Totally.
I will not do it.
Totally. And you know, growing up, it was in the band, you know, my original band, how, you know, I've met so many cool people and so many connections and stuff. You're pouring in your heart and soul into this original project, and it's a metal thing, and you're very pigeonholed into that, which is fine.
Yeah.
But then, you know, it's kind of like either you continue doing that or you switch gears a little bit, you know, hired gun type of thing, where I'm always going to be available for that.
Yeah.
Cover stuff, or, you know, you kind of branch off. And it just depends on the type of musician you are. You know, some people only play one instrument and are like band people. Some people play many instruments and are more of like that whole kind of caliber of bands. Some people can play many instruments, don't play no bands, and just do production stuff. It's, you know, I think it took me a little while to appreciate the production and knowing that it's good. There's possibilities in that side of the world, you know. Behind the scenes, it's great.
Yeah, I was going to speak to your versatility as a player, because if someone was really, really ignorant and they went, oh, he played with Roth and he plays with Ratt, that's an 80s guy. And you go, playing Lay It Down is a totally, totally different thing than playing Just a Gigolo. Like, different genres. Yeah. Way Cool Jr. is entirely different than Unchained. Different techniques. So you show from these two gigs, hey, you could do blues, you could do swing, you can do hard rock. Were there any punk style Van Halen songs? I don't think you did DOA or Atomic or Mean Street.
No, but we did Mean Street.
I don't think you did Mean Street at the Vegas shows I saw. Or the two shows I saw had the identical set list, so maybe the other shows had a different set per se. But
we did do Mean Street. I do remember that.
I picked wrong nights. I saw a harmonica malfunction night show.
Oh
wow! Whatever it is, I'm seeing more of them in a couple of weeks in Vegas. But you know,
yeah, that's great. No, you probably know more than I do. I remember rehearsing Mean Streets like a ton. That's why I'm like, huh?
Again, ask the wife. I've been wrong about plenty, but
it's my mug. I'm sorry, it's my mug.
Great mug. There's a similar mug in back of me as well. But the key is, if somebody says, I want to learn more about Frankie, what are the best places to go to learn about that? That's question A. And question B is, are you Frank or Frankie by preference? Is Frankie the nickname that stuck from when you were 15? Or do people call you Frank or Frankie interchangeably? So there are the two questions for you.
So my mom calls me Frank when she's mad and yells at me. My real name is Francesco, super Italian. But I've always been Frankie. But you can call me anything you want, except for asshole.
Hence why you work, because you're a good hang.
Yeah, I know. It's always been Frankie. It's kind of funny, to be honest, in these weird crossroads. I'm 28, almost 29. And it's like, should it be Frank now?
Well, Tommy Lee is edging closer to 60, and he's Tommy.
So Tommy and not Tom. So fuck, I'm gonna keep it.
Sammy Hagar's over 70. He's Sammy.
Sammy. Yeah, you're right. I like that.
Sin was Deborah for a couple of years, not well received. Like when she was on stage with the Circle Jerks, she was Deborah, I think. And then he became Debbie again. Maybe she couldn't get the domain for Deborah.
There you go. It's always a business fucking decision. Damn it. Just kidding. No, I'm not kidding, actually.
No, you're not kidding, but true. So best ways to find you online and stay up with the latest and greatest of Frankie?
Yeah, man. Well, of course, I'll say Instagram.
The gram.
The gram, I love it, love it. Just kidding. Totally hate social media. Uh, no, it's fun. I like posting little videos and being funny and dumb. So my Instagram is first name Frankie underscore last name Lindia. But then I have the website up too. Thanks for reminding me. I need to keep that up to par. It's just frankielindia.com. And yeah, you can see the Spotify, Apple Music, released music, and there's links to the Facebook and all that, of course. But I appreciate you asking. The
Well,
plugs.
the plugs. The key is we're getting new music from you, whether or not we know it's from you, due to the libraries.
Yeah, of course, 100%. Yeah, and um, just very grateful to be able to be playing music and making a living and teaching and passing that, forward. Really,
Really?
lots of gratitude for all of it.
Paltrocast.